Darlings, welcome back. Real treat for you this week. A wonderful E30 M3 in pink. Not all of it's pink though. Some of it's original paint, some of it's been repainted. So the job here is part of my deep clean and cleanse package is to restore some gloss, kind of a bit of even colour, and then get it protected. So we're going to be hopefully polishing it with Bilt Hamber Cleanser Polish, and then we're going to go with some Nova Luster and then Nova Jet on top of that for the LSPs. Sit back and enjoy. First off, tackling these brilliant wheels. I love these. And I'm using Garage Therapy Iron Oxide as the cleaner and a bit of Surfex HD on the wheels. Tyres even on the tyres. Now the car's very clean, so but I'm still cleaning it how I would normally, and in this case it's auto foam at 4% PIR, followed up with a contact wash using auto wash, and then I'm using again Garage Therapy's Iron Oxide as the fallout remover at the end. Drying it off here with a couple of different twisted loop drying towels. The first one I used was the Rag Company Liquidator, and I'm continually unimpressed with that towel. I'm going to do this full review of lots of different towels coming up, but yeah, that one is the one thing that always gets in on my nerves. It never performs quite as I'd like it to. So I swapped over to a dual-sided one from Detailers United.
Okay, wash is done. Now we're on to the polishing. You can see this is kind of what we're dealing with. Rear boot, it's plastic by the way, but rear boot C-pillars here, which I'll move you around to later, bonnet, and front wings, and I think the doors are all original paint. It's just gone a bit oxidization flat. Roof, rear wings, rear bumper, front bumpers and all that have had fresh paint. Everything now is starting to oxidise slightly, the original paint clearly more than others. So the plan of action is going to be Bilt Hamber Cleanser Polish and a white chemical guys Hex Logic, which is their light polishing pad. That is enough to bring this up. You'll be amazed how good this looks. Obviously there's a bit of filling ability in this, and then we're going to, LSP is going to be some Nova Luster, like I said earlier, and then some Nova Jet applied the day after. It is raining, you see there's a bit of water keep going on here, so I'm battling the elements a bit. I'm under my gazebo and I'm doing the best I can, so we will get there. But the results will be fine, and it's not too wet, so that's the main thing. We'll get the LSP on fairly quickly. I'm almost kind of going to go panel at a time, I reckon, just to get it sealed off and let this go off a little bit. So double check the instructions on here. Yeah, there's nothing about letting it dry, you don't have to, so you just constantly buff it off, and then I can put the luster on over the top. Luster needs to stay reasonably dry, but a little bit of water on it like this won't be a problem. So I'm going to put it into time lapse and we'll get cracked on.
That wasn't giving me those results I wanted, so I upped the ante and I've gone for Poor Boy's SSR 2.5, which is a single step polish, but it isn't particularly abrasive, so quite good for this kind of context. The flip side of that is it clogs the pads chronically, so I don't particularly like using it at the best of times. And between that and the crud coming off the paint, this pad was just getting fuller and fuller and fuller each time, so I had to wash it out after just doing this. Now, not inherently an issue, but it's a frustration. You don't have to do that all the time. What was interesting was I'm using my little SPTA nano polisher, link to that below here, and I'm using the pads that came in the kit. I went through you see the yellow foam, the blue foam and the green foam, and all of them left really bad marring. It was so obvious. I switched it over to one of the little microfiber pads that came in, the blue one. No marring at all, fantastic finish, lots of gloss. So I went with that on the boot here to finish off around that. But later on, when I get to the bonnet, I changed the combination again. to capture that the oxidization on the bonnet. So let me just tweak the colours a little bit here so you can kind of see just where the main patina is, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of easy there, but it's there. It's not easy to photograph because they're old film, but this is showing it flaring up a bit there, I guess. Pad's changed again, isn't it? Actually, we're on a different day as well. What we've got now is a Roops yellow, and I'm back to using the cleanser polish. I've done a quick test spot there to make sure it was okay. This combination was working. This is the results I wanted to get. And the reason I wanted to use cleanser polish is because it leaves a nice finish behind it, does a bit of filling, so it improves the appearance of the paint rather than having to cut all the way through it, which when you've got old paint like this is a good thing.
Here, this is a third of the bonnet. You can see how clogged this is, even after being brushed out and everything. So this pad's done now. I just go put it in a bucket of APC, let it soak for a bit while I get a new pad on, do the middle section. The same thing will happen again to the other side, and I have to wash all 3 pads out before I can do any more. That's just the nature of when you're working with clear coat. This is also, single stage. It's also one of the things I wanted to do. This is why I've been trying to use the Bilt Hamber Cleanser Polish, and I am now. It takes less off. So in which case it doesn't damage it as much, which is really good. And it means it doesn't clog up the pads as much. So I'm glad that's working, and it's getting the result now. Just a different pad polish combination, it's all good.
The nano polisher, and you can see I'm using a yellow foam pad again after having said I used the the microfiber one on the boot. This is a different yellow pad. This is the Roops hybrid yellow pad, which is basically their same level of cut as the main pad I was using on the polisher, and so I was getting an even performance. I've also flipped over the nano polisher into rotary mode for this sort of stuff because it's a little bit easier to control. Showing it up quite well here, but I just want to draw your attention to it as well. Look at the top of the door and where the wing meet. You can see where I crossed over. You see just how much difference the cleanser polish is doing. Now for the wings, I've dropped down to a 3-inch pad, still using cleanser polish, but this time I've got the the Shoal Concepts Purple Spider. There's some deeper marks on the roof that the owner wanted out if we could, or improved at the very least. So here I'm using Shoal Concepts S20 black, but still with the Roops yellow pad. Alright, we're on LSP time now, and this is where the Nova Luster is going on. The day after this, the owner will put on the Nova Jet. It's good to kind of leave 12 hours for the luster to cure off and harden, ideally, so that's what we do. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for coming back. If you're a subscriber, if you're not, maybe feel free to subscribe if you're enjoying this sort of content. So I do a lot of this and reviews. Really appreciate it. Almost at 1,000 subs, which means the channel can get monetized, which would be great to reinvest into it. So, thank you again, and I will see you in the next one.